What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal. This is the A Couple of Things podcast where we are here to talk about a couple of things. First things first, I'd like to start this episode by just celebrating a very tiny milestone, but we managed to reach 100 subscribers. Anybody listening to this, if you unsubscribe, I will find you. I will track you down and I will beat you up. So don't unsubscribe just to put us under that 100, even though that's funny. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, so I just wanted to start with praise. We definitely appreciate it, on this journey. But now that we got that out the way, this should be a very interesting episode. So stay tuned. We got a bunch of crazy topics, pretty tumultuous last week in the news. So I guess the first thing I wanted to start with is I guess just for the ease of transitioning on these topics, there's been a lot of gun violence lately around the country, which is not abnormal, but crime has been going pretty crazy in America. If anybody's listening internationally, I know we do have some international listeners, but I'm sure you guys see in your news how crazy the U.S. can get sometimes with things like mass shootings, etc. So unfortunately, I do work in New York. I wasn't impacted by the Brooklyn shooting specifically, but I was in New York at the time. I just got to work at 7:50ish or 8 o'clock, and the shooting happened at 8:30 a.m. or so. So I did see the quick reaction. I work in an area that's very populous, so when that happened, there was definitely a lot of activity there. So condolences to the victims that were a part of the subway shooting. There hasn't been any casualties. There were some people in critical condition, a lot of injuries, but as of right now, everybody looks like they will recover. I know that's very traumatizing, and I know riding the subway back that day was a very different experience. It almost felt like a few months ago when people still weren't back in the office, and due to COVID, where the subway is very empty and it was pretty, for lack of a better word, it was pretty dead on the subway. You could definitely tell people were on edge. Then I just it's very unfortunate, and it's really horrible that the largest city in the country doesn't have the infrastructure in place to protect people from wild shit like this. Like, you know how crazy it is to be in the financial capital of the world, with millions of people taking those subways every single day, and somehow, some way, we don't have a system in place, or it's almost like they don't care to police. Like, I go into one of the most populated places in all of New York City in terms of travel, and there's no police presence, there's no military, there's no anything on the platforms. Like, there just isn't. Like, they don't even attempt to try to make things safe. And it's just crazy to me, all the money that gets spent in there. There's so many billionaires that live in New York, and somehow, some way, there's no paying. Like, you might as well defund the police if there's not going to be anybody there in these sort of situations. Like, I don't like the fact that somebody could have a gun, smoke grenades, etc., and feel comfortable enough to go through a turnstile, pay to get through the turnstile, have it in their backpack, pull it out on a train, knowing that they're not going to get stopped, knowing that there's no safety precautions in place. It's crazy. So it's just the whole politics and fake people running for mayor and all this stuff in New York City, and all that fake, oh, we're going to bring down crime and safety and all that, blah, 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 blah. I'm just tired of like politics. Like, there's no excuse for that. Like, especially being in a place that generates so much money, and how all other countries have way better systems than we do, and somehow they're able to do that with less money. So I don't understand it. But yeah, that was just my little rant on New York and safety.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, you would think there would be like better security system or something. Like, I don't know. That is crazy now that I think about it, because other countries, like, especially like in Asia, their systems are like way different than ours, and like they're way more modern, and they prioritize like, I feel like Asian countries prioritize like efficiency. Like a lot of the stuff that they make over there, or like a lot of the stuff that they like I see on TikTok and stuff that they have over there, is like they're all about efficiency. I'm like, how are we letting them be us with the train system when like that's something that we had for so long? Like it wasn't a train system. No, it wasn't started here, right? Or was it? Was that invented in U.S. railroads?
I want to say no,
I
but
know,
either
right?
way,
But
it's been here for hundreds of years. Like,
yeah,
regardless, you would think that they would have a better system and functionality. And I don't like.
it just would take too long for them to redo it. But I feel like it has to be a priority. Too many people use them every day. Like, why are they retiling the Holland Tunnel, but they're not putting safety systems in the subways? Like, if they could do that in the tunnel, they could do that in the subway system.
Yeah, they need to do a lot better. Like in the whole country
It would
too.
be hard though, because they really do have to like. I wouldn't think they had to start from scratch. Like they have the foundations there, but something has to be done. Like I can imagine. Like I know that's a part of the appeal of New York, like the grunge. But I can imagine like a super modern, clean subway system in New York. Like it's possible. Like people love to come here. So many people, millions of people come here like a year, maybe even more.
No, it's for sure
Hundreds of
more.
millions, tens of millions. Like people like every day there's a lot of planes flying into here, and you would think everybody coming to see the city, they should see a nice, clean, modern subway system with like a gate to block people from falling into the tracks or getting pushed.
So
Metal detectors. Like, how do you not have metal detectors to go into a subway system that you know is packed, just as packed as a concert could be daily,
and
multiple times?
I feel like implementing those things wouldn't even cost that much.
Yeah,
Like to be completely honest, like for what I would hope for the subway system to be, I know it would probably cost a lot, but just simply putting turnstiles like at the subway stops, I just feel like that's not expensive. Like you can't tell me that like they have them. They have them in like we were just at the airport. Like they have them there. Like I just don't understand why they can't have that same system.
what turns like
Like
the,
like the when you we were on the I don't know what they call it, the air train. I don't know what
Yeah.
they call it, and the doors open up.
yeah.
Like they have that there.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, if you go to what airport were we in? JFK.
Yeah.
If you go to JFK Airport and you're taking the shuttle from the shuttle train, tram, trolley, whatever you want to call it, from the airport out to like the subway stations or something like that, like the train will stop and then there will be these giant glass doors that will open up and then allow you on the train. Like there's no free just walking
Yeah.
on, like it's designated in a specific spot. And I feel like that would save a lot of situations, like people getting pushed onto the tracks or people falling on the tracks, people fighting and throwing people on the tracks. Like there's just so many
It's
things.
just dangerous. Like you said, it doesn't even have to be someone being pushed. It could just be something happens and people fall, kids run around, like things like that. It's it's not just malicious; it's accidental. And you would think they would have something like that because, like, not only is that traumatizing for the person who's around and like their family, and obviously the person who died, but it's like the train could get messed up. Like you're just causing more issues.
Yeah.
And why be known as the place where people are getting pushed into tracks and now shootings and rats? Like this is a bad reputation for our subway system, and it's crazy because it's like, I mean, that's why I said people think that's a part of the grunge of New York, though, like the people singing on the subway and all that, and like you could still have all that, but just make it safe, make it safer. But even that too is like, I mean, you can't discriminate, but a lot of people who just do crazy stuff on the train, there's no other way to really get them off of there. That's the whole mental health crisis. That has nothing to do with trains, but
Yeah, and that doesn't even, that comes with any city, and
Yeah,
they're
anywhere.
dealing with mental things. So I'm not gonna speak on that specifically, but there does need to be some, obviously, some resources out there. I've seen,
there should be like, well, you said the cameras, right? There should be cameras on the train.
there should be
There should be metal detectors. There should be like a quick bag check. If you have a bag, like why do they check bags when you go to museums, but they're not checking you for a train? Like a compact train where you're stuck there in that car. But you gotta check my bag to go into a museum. Like it should be the same protocol. You gotta check my bag to go into a concert. Like it should just be the same protocol for a train
yeah.
with all those people every day.
It's unfortunate.
And maybe like a cop on the train.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why not have like they do on airplanes, have like a marshal on the subway?
Yeah. Like,
Because if something happens on the subway,
They could just run through the doors.
Yeah, nobody got a shot if anything happens on the subway.
Yeah.
Like, not even to make it like, because it was just a movie, but still plausible. But like, we watched Pelham, Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3. For those of you guys that don't know, it's a cool, quick movie to watch. It's a remake of an older movie. Basically, long story short, spoiler alerts. Group of guys basically hijack a subway train, drive it to the middle of the subway tracks, and then keep people hostage for the purpose of money. And while that's pretty unrealistic, at the same time, it's still plausible. And especially if there's nobody on the train. Funny enough, actually, I think a cop in that movie was on the train too. I think they killed him.
Yeah, they killed him.
But yeah, it just needs to be more safety. This whole situation is crazy in general. I don't know if I really introduced a topic like that, but the shooting that happened in Brooklyn last Monday, right, or Tuesday?
I think it was Tuesday. No, yeah, it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, so there was a arrest made of the alleged perpetrator. Of course, the cameras happen to be down in the subway system, conveniently, not shocking. That's another thing.
Yeah, like, why is that not checked? Like, if it just feel like there's no care until something happens.
Yeah, so I'm sure that camera will be up and running. So there was there's a lot of problems with this, and I don't want to stay on it too long, but my first issue with this is that the news has become a place where everybody just wants to run to be able to say something first without having any facts. And this is not new. This has been consistent now with social media, and every news outlet wants to be the first to report something. And they just put out any fact, and then they don't necessarily even say we were incorrect. They'll just give updated information, I guess. Yeah. But they'll put out something random. Like, the initial report was that this guy was 5'5" and 180. Which is 180 is overweight for somebody that's 5'5". Mm-hmm. This guy ends up being like 6'2" and like close to 300 pounds. So like,
he didn't look 5'5".
Not even close. I think he's like 6'2" or 6'1". So that I have a problem with that. Like, that was nasty, because now you got people looking out for somebody that's 5'5". It's like, that's probably why they couldn't find him in the first place, because they're looking for incorrect.
Literally were just chilling.
Yeah, looking for the incorrect person, and then they harped a lot on the vest and the MTA thing, as if he was going to continue to wear that walking around. Like,
apparently, there was like a picture of him walking out, and he just had a black T-shirt on.
Yeah, like, duh, that's obvious. So my first issue with this whole thing,
everything was smoky, I guess he took the stuff off.
Yeah, and probably just looked like a regular person walking off the train.
And that's where he tried to dump the bags too, right?
And he left the bags. But yeah, so I have a problem with the policing in these subway stations. I have a problem with the way the news reported that, because that's misinformation. Nobody ever corrects it. That's why Elon's trying to buy Twitter, because there's so much. Well, that's not why he's trying to buy it. Wrong point. We'll get to Elon buying Twitter probably later, but and he was just able to walk his fat ass out of the subway station and chill out for about a day.
Yeah. Because it looked like he was wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
When they found him.
So that's basically what happened. It's unfortunate. Again, condolences to anybody that was affected by that. Very traumatizing event. Like I said, when I was on the subway, or the reactions after it happened, police everywhere. I showed you, I was in Chick-fil-A. They had people with assault rifles in the Chick-fil-A getting lunch, like police presence everywhere. I went down to World Trade, crazy military type people all over the place, checking it out. Dogs, like, they brought in the full arsenal after this happened. And you could see everybody afraid on the train. Like, not gonna lie, it was very empty, but the people that were on the train.
Do you think people were like that because it's kind of just like the heightened sense because of like people thinking maybe it was like a copycat, or not even a copycat, but this could be a coordinated planned event.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And the guy was still out there.
Yeah, I think given he had bombs and military type things, like he went in like Rambo, so I think people's fears were about it being a coordinated event.
Yeah, that there could be multiple things happening.
And let me tell you, when I went to work that day, train, I'm not even joking, it was like I could not move. Like I was the
Really?
last person on the door. Like I was pressed up against the door going there. On the way back, seats everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's not a
Everybody took an
coincidence.
Uber. They said,
Yeah, a lot of people were taking car services. So it was a mess. But now that we got all the facts out the way, and I don't want to be disrespectful, so just want to put that out there. But we do have to say this. So, given all the weird things about this, right? Like the YouTube account where he was posting a lot of anti-black and anti-Latin
yeah.
sentiments, and him having military-grade smoke bombs and having a gas mask, and this seemed like a real. You would think that ex SWAT U.S. Navy SEAL was pulling off this attack.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't have a different gun.
Yeah, right. With all that,
Yeah.
but he did have a 9mm.
Just saying. Right?
Extended mags.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing a lot of Call of Duty, clearly. But he had a YouTube account posting about how he hates black people and Latin people. I guess you told me that, so I'm not sure. I didn't verify that for myself, but which is weird because it kind of conflicts with what the news was saying, with that the guy was a follower of Farrakhan. So it's like, it's a lot of weird.
I mean, he could be that too.
He could be, but it's just a lot of weird things.
He
like
seem off mentally too. Sometimes people they just follow any little thing.
Because if he's a follower of Farrakhan, who's an advocate for
Yeah.
black people, why would he kill black people? But
Well, he didn't. I don't think any black person even got shot.
yeah.
I think it was just random. Like this was just a random thing.
There's just a lot of weird coincidences. Like he did that at a particular station that's not super populous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of just fits. And I'm not gonna be the conspiracy theory man, but it just like conveniently fits like a weird. It's just weird timing with everything that they're trying to push in New York, and Mayor Adams' focus on trying to bring down crime in New York, and clearly not working. I think crime is up 65% or something in New York. So clearly not working. And then this conveniently happens. So I don't know if it's because everybody's going back to work and people are just now that people are now the crazy people are out again, where they're able to attack people, whereas before there was nobody to attack. So I just don't know, like the timing of everything. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always easy to look at conspiracies, but then sometimes you do like have to think like there are a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah.
So this could just be random.
Yeah.
But it is weird how how everybody got shot in the legs.
Yeah, and then he got found in the East Village.
Like how he was like basically either he was just that bad or he just wasn't trying to kill them and just caused chaos.
Yeah, I don't, and that's why I don't want to be disrespectful and say that it's some government false flag attack to push gun control or anything like that.
I don't rule anything like that out though.
Yeah, I don't, but I also just don't want to jump out and straight up say it. But also the area it was in, they're trying to push the Asian hate crime thing.
Yeah, because they're predominantly Asian area.
Yeah, for those of you not around New York, it was definitely very predominant Asian community. So I don't know. It just fit like a bunch of different things. Like it was all perfect.
I feel it's like planning in a neighborhood. There's gonna be like hysteria. Like I'm surprised I didn't see more tweets about that, but maybe that's what they were thinking.
The black on Asian thing.
Yeah.
Which is not a false thing.
Yeah.
Like it's happened.
But it definitely seems like it's pushed because this is like I feel like this is something that just started talking about.
Mm-hmm. Because for years, black people still go to Asian, like, if anything.
And for years, it was the other way around.
Yeah, I was about to say, if anything.
Yeah, they monopolize our neighborhoods and put nail salons and beauty supply stores. Like, how you selling me gel and weave? So I feel like them trying to push that, making it seem like it's the other way around is crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when there's like a incorrect rhetoric that's going around, and then something happens that reinforces it, and because then there's nothing.
Yeah, can everybody's like, see, look,
like the Jesse thing where the rhetoric was like, oh, there's no police racism and blah blah blah. They just need to comply, whatever. And then you find out Jesse's lying, and then it's like, see,
it's like, people are though, they take extremes.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a little rundown about the shooting. So hopefully,
It'll be interesting to see what happens now. Like how if he, like, well, he's up gonna get jail time, but how much? Because like you didn't kill anybody, but I mean, they might count it as
the attempted
murder
on everybody.
Yeah, and he still did like a federal crime, right? Like by shooting in the train.
He's gonna get hit with a receipt. It's gonna be like a CVS receipt of all the things
he's gonna be in there for a minute, probably till he dies. He's already 60 something.
Yeah, that for sure. He's gonna get like a bunch of life sentences.
Yeah.
But yeah. So hopefully New York actually ends up caring about its citizens at some point. And does something.
There's something has to happen, and the longer they wait, the worse it's gonna be, because like you don't want the trains to like start to deteriorate.
Yeah, ridership was already down 60% because of COVID. Down to 60% capacity because of COVID, and then this happens. It's like, and then if you don't do anything, like their whole thing is, oh, we want to do this so we can help, like we could get more people on the train. It's like, you're not even, the stuff's not even nice. Like, it's just, nobody wants to ride the train. But in other news, more gun violence has occurred. So me personally, and it's like the craziest thing ever. And I know there's a whole culture of people that do breaking and entering and robbing people's homes. But that's so crazy to me because you don't know what people, like, you don't know what's waiting for you. I know people that have, or situations where people broke into a house and got mauled to death by their dog that was inside the house. Like, or they break into the house and it's like an ex-military, ex-cop, and they get blown to smithereens. Like, so people that break and enter is like the craziest like way to get money. Like, I prefer you to just scam credit cards or something. Breaking into somebody's house is insane. Like, how do you even have the confidence to do that?
Like, and you're looking for what? Like, anything that you're gonna find valuable? Yeah, it might be out and everything, but it's like, I mean, I guess they go to specific spots. They go to the closets. They look for the jewelry. They probably look for a safe. They probably go to like an office. But it just seems so time consuming and extra. Like, it's so, and it's, for me, it's like, that's like, I don't know what I consider worse, scamming or that, because that is like you're in someone's home.
I think breaking and entering is worse because you don't even care about your own life at that point, in my opinion. Because like realistically, I know quite a few people with multiple firearms in their homes. I know some people with strategically placed firearms in different parts of the house, depending on if somebody breaks in and they're in this part of the house, they have one access here, it's upstairs, and like, and people don't think that people have guns, and I don't understand why. Like, guns are very much legal in America. Like, anybody can get a gun, like, unless you committed a felony or have a history of mental episodes. But if not, anybody can own a gun, and you can own up to like, well, I think you could get, when you get a permit, I think you could buy like 6.
And pretty much every state you're allowed to buy one, right? For your home. Pretty much every state.
Yeah, every state you're allowed to legally bear arms. The only difference,
that's a constitutional thing.
Yeah, the only difference is if you can conceal it, or if you can have
carry.
it. Yeah, or if you can just have it out.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But everybody can have a gun.
Okay, yeah.
So it's crazy to me. Like, I know people with big, like, pump action, heavy looking shotguns, like blow somebody to smithereens in the house. So to me, the fact that in your mind you don't think that that's going to be waiting for you on the other side of the door is insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy with Ring doorbells and cameras and all that other stuff. Like,
and people are being bold with the Ring stuff still.
Yeah, they see it and still.
There's so many cases where people are getting caught, and they're doing new scams now, like where people are like knocking on the door and like pretending to sell cookies and stuff. You saw that?
Nah.
Yeah, somebody pretended to sell cookies, and it was like an older lady, an older white lady. Of course, the person looked, I couldn't tell what they were. Someone said they were Asian, but then some said they looked black or Hispanic. I don't know, but the person was buying the cookies, and then the rest of the people came from around the corner and like barged in. Ring camera. And then something happened the other day too, where a girl, they used a young girl, not like a kid, but like she looked like maybe like 18, 17. And like she was saying how she needed like a phone or something, like, which is, for me, I'm like, all right, that's like textbook scamming. But then she did some hand signal, and then a whole bunch of guys came around the corner.
See, they're gonna be shit out of luck with me because I'm not opening the door for anybody.
Yeah, me
If I ain't
neither.
ordering any Uber Eats and I'm not expecting you to be here, then I'm
That's
not.
the thing. Yeah, I don't open doors for people at all. I don't care who you are, unless I see too that clearly you're like, if you're like police or something. But even then,
Yeah,
people be in
even
fake
then-
police cars.
Yeah, even then we ain't doing that because if I ain't called the police, they ain't coming to my house.
Yeah,
I'm
but sometimes they do. They do pull up and like to inform you, like if of a death or something. You ever see that happen? Like when they say, "Oh, we haven't informed the family yet." Usually, that's
Yeah.
how they inform the family.
I'll answer it through the ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Like, give me a badge number and your
Yeah.
supervisor.
Like,
Like,
hi, who are you?
which sounds so paranoid, but nah. Like,
No, for me, I'm not taking no risk.
I was telling you the other day how people, I've had personal experiences, have had the house broken into twice. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not taking a risk. People are too desperate and evil out here.
yeah. I'm definitely answering the
Yeah, the ring.
even when the people in the apartment when they're doing that like sales thing, knocking on doors.
Yeah.
One of the last times I had a little something with me. I'm like, yeah, can I help you?
Wait, they came here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when? Like to our door?
They got in. They were trying to sell us an alternative to PSE&G or something like that.
That's kind of scary. Like just drop your flyer underneath the door.
Yeah, I'm
You
not.
don't need to knock on anybody's door. When you first of all, you shouldn't even have been in the building unless you had access,
Yeah,
like your approved access.
yeah. But for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, the reason why I started this conversation is the baby was recently, I wouldn't say a victim. I think the person robbing the house ended up as the victim, but the baby shot a intruder that broke into his house doing a typical breaking and entering, probably hoping to find some money sitting around.
Yeah.
I think that they were probably.
I mean, why the baby though? Are you stupid?
No,
Like,
no, but that's what I'm saying. I think that they saw the nice cars outside
Oh,
and
they didn't know.
automatically in their head they're like, "Oh, this got to be a white person."
Yeah.
Not that white people don't have
What
guns in
neighborhood?
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna break into a house and
But that's what I'm saying. Though, you still kind of had to know the baby lives in North Carolina too.
Yeah, you do
They
have
might
to,
they might have known it was his house though.
but you shouldn't be doing breaking and entering anywhere below like
Was he somewhere gated though?
that. I don't know, and I actually would not believe so.
Yeah, maybe not.
But like,
Because North Carolina even, well, maybe this might be an ignorant question, but they even have gated communities.
there's
I mean, I'm sure there's some.
yeah, there's affluent areas in North Carolina,
Yeah.
but yo, like in a southern state, you're gonna do
Yeah, that's
breaking and
nothing
entering.
too.
Everybody
Southern
has
state,
guns.
yeah, when you know for sure that most people definitely have them.
The kids got guns in school. Like I'm joking, but you never know. But everybody got a gun down there. People just got guns for no reason. They're bringing guns to the church. Like everybody has a gun. So doing that down there anyway is crazy. And you just happen. You know what his face probably looked like when he broke in and saw the baby standing there, looking stupid.
He got inside the house.
Yeah, he
Just
was
over
he was in the house,
Oh wow,
and then the baby shot him,
that's crazy.
and then the guy called 911.
The guy who got shot.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna see if I can find the audio. But
Why would he call 911?
yeah, why you calling 911? Hey, I broke into a house and
That's what he said.
I got shot. Nah,
Oh, you didn't hear it?
no, but I'm just saying like that's crazy. Like that's a crazy conversation to have.
How far did he get into the house?
I'm not sure, and that's
Do you think the baby had like he has like a ring or something? Something. Well, I guess we went on the details, but
he probably did.
and got like alerted, or was he just up and heard the noise?
Yeah, he probably heard a noise or something. But that's what I was saying before.
He grew
with
up in the
ring.
hood, right?
Yeah.
So he knows obviously.
And he just on go in general.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's always like alert.
I would really hope that he did not try to purposefully break into the baby's house. Like I would think that he would know better than that.
I will hope so, because it's like, yeah, not only is it a southern state, but you know the baby is known that he killed people.
He shoots people in Walmart, like in broad daylight in public
That's so embarrassing.
at the self checkout.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. Let me see if I can find the audio. But yeah, it looks. This is what it looks like. So it looks like there's a bit of a fence. It's a little bit gated.
I mean, that fence is not that high.
It's
It's
not.
kind of high though. It's high enough probably to deter people, except him.
Yeah, man. Like I can't imagine that. Like
I can't. Ooh, being famous and rich is scary. I mean, regular people get robbed too, but
also the crazy part to me is that you're breaking into a place that you don't know. Like, you can't even like stake out the house. I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's public information, if the layout of your house is like on the public record. Maybe it is. I
Probably
don't.
depends on the state
Yeah,
or
like
like the contractor. But it's kind of weird though to put the blueprint
on the
online somewhere.
yeah, like I don't think it is, but
Might be. Somebody might have a way to access records like that.
like yo, you going into a place that you don't even know the layout.
Yeah.
Like that's real crazy to me. Like you don't know where you're running into. You don't know what the rooms are. I did see this one instance where unfortunately the people did know the layout, and it didn't end well for the people in the house because they knew exactly where to go. They knew
They killed the people in the house?
Yeah.
Was that story where they killed the wife when they brought her to the ATM?
Nah, they just straight up killed them in the house. But they knew the whole layout of their house. So like they knew where the steps were, where the rooms were, where the bathrooms were. They knew where
That's
everything was.
scary.
It was crazy. They found the blueprints online, so they knew exactly how to break into the house quietly and then where to go directly into the bedroom to kill them while they were asleep. It was crazy. But I think I found the audio here, so see if we can play a little
Another
bit
thing
of this.
too is last times. Another thing too is like if the house has been sold recently, that's usually pictures online too
Yeah.
of like the house. So they might study the house and stuff.
This is the person that got shot. This is them screaming. This is very dysfunctional. I don't even know what I'm listening to now.
Oh, they're blocking out the address.
Oh yeah, they're blocking out the
and the
information.
number. Who's that? Probably.
I don't know who's speaking. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is somebody in the house that called 911 after they shot him.
Oh,
Because I think actually the baby said that he wasn't going to kill the person.
yeah. So who called? Maybe like security or a family member?
This is what the baby said. He said, chose not to take someone's life the other day and it felt great. Buddy ain't deserve to go. I stepped righteously, heal up, and live, my boy. Just don't bring your ass back. So I think that might have been the baby or someone in the house that, because for how much pain he's in, he probably couldn't run.
Yeah.
So he probably was just laying on the floor.
And all the blood in the house.
Yeah, the way the person said, yeah, he right in front of me. Yeah, so, hey.
That's a crazy thing too. In reality, like I feel whenever you hear stories about someone was shot but they didn't die, it's like it's kind of graphic.
Yeah, there's still blood everywhere. You
It's
saw
they're
the
still screaming, yeah,
subway pics.
because it still hurts
Yeah.
regardless. And if anything, you probably if you got shot rather die instantly than be in pain from the bullet. But
I ain't gonna say all that.
No, I know. But I'm saying like it sucks. Like you have to like deal with the pain, like
Yeah.
depending on like that might have been his first time ever getting shot too.
Probably.
I mean, I would think most people don't have multiple times that they gotten shot, but
Yeah. So stop breaking in to celebrities' houses. Stop breaking it into anybody's houses because you don't know what's on the other side and you don't want to find out.
yeah,
And I'm not going to speak on specific people, but I know some people and they got an arsenal for you. So you just better hope you're not breaking into that specific house. That's all I'm going to say.
stop being a bum. Go get a job.
I used to live around active police officers or like active state troopers.
Yeah,
Like, and they lived, you know where I lived.
Yeah.
So you think that, oh, there might be some money in here. It's like, no, there's 15 shotguns in your face
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
even my dad. Obviously, he had 2 guns, I think. And he's retired in NYPD, so don't pull up on our brick because my dad is strapped.
Anyway, switching gears here. I don't know how I'm going to switch gears into any of the remaining topics because they're not cohesive at all. But
Where are they? Because I have 2.
what you got? Let me see your list.
Just the Drewski thing and that black therapist.
Um,
So we can see how.
Go ahead. Let's do your topics, and then we could jump into mine.
Okay, so we talk about Drewski first.
Drewski.
So that was, well, that was sometime last week, obviously. I think it was like earlier in the week. But I showed you the video that I was mad about his skit that he ended up deleting, where he was just showing, like he said, like that one friend that be trying to get the girls to drink. And I showed you it, and it was like, showing how like there's always like that one guy, or there's guys always like that, like, oh, take a shot, or like doing the stupid questions, like the never have ever, like the easy stuff that they know you're gonna drink, like I thought this was funny. Like I thought the skit was funny, like literally, and it could be tone deaf. I know people like to overanalyze everything, but it could be tone deaf. That maybe I didn't think about it anyway, because it's like, I don't have any personal experience of like assault or whatever, so maybe that's why some girls took it that way, because that might have reminded them of something that turned bad. So I can understand why people would be sensitive to it, but I just feel like at the same time it's like it was just a joke, and I know people are like, oh, well, we need to learn to stop joking about certain things, but it's like, since women is comedy, so like I just forget everybody's so sensitive now. Maybe everybody finds different humor in different things, but I find humor in laughing at the bad too, the good, the bad, everything. Depending on how.
Well,
I don't know.
I think it depends on how people took it. The way I think so, and it's funny because one of my topics was actually comedy is dead as we know it. So this is kind of the
this is kind of what the conversation led to after that. Saying that comedy is dead because obviously we had this happen after the Chris Rock situation, but
yeah, I think that the way that comedians, an important role that comedians play, is that they can discuss dark issues that happen in real life and then make things relatable, or also make things digestible to people, because people don't want to watch a lecture on assault or these different things.
Yeah, or like a video like on, oh, what are the red flags if you are at a party? Like sometimes no one wants to do that.
Yeah, which is whatever. You could feel how you feel about that. But comedy is universal. People laugh. That's just a natural human act, is laughing at something that's funny. And people find things that funny differently. So I do understand that's important. But because comedy is so universal, one of the ways to communicate to people sometimes, especially with things that are like tough subjects to talk about, is through laughing or comedy or making something relatable or saying something. Like that's what Dave Chappelle is masterful at, is taking something that's very dark and serious, telling it in a joking way, but still driving the point home about how important the topic itself is. Now, for me, when I watched it, we know that Drewski makes funny videos, but just because a video is funny, or just the fact that it's Drewski himself, I don't think that he's promoting it.
Yeah.
And he's not like...
He's not encouraging it.
Yeah, he's not encouraging it.
He's just saying
pointing
like,
it out like that exists. Like that.
And like, honestly, like you said, that could help educate. Because now as a girl, you might watch that and be like, ooh, this is kind of creepy. Like, this is funny, but this is kind of weird. So now all right, if a guy starts acting like that at a party, and then, people were saying like he was making fun of the guys. So they said some guys were mad because maybe they felt like he like touched the button or pushed the button or something.
Yeah, because they know that they're those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys exist. And I feel like him making a skit or a sketch about it is not then justifying that people do that. He's just highlighting like this is a thing, like this exists.
And people should know that about Drewski from like by now. Like all his skits usually are surrounded by like almost like criticism.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, that friend that just got out of jail. Like, you're critiquing how cringe they act when they first get out, or like he critiques how like people think they're so cool when they're on drugs and stuff, and they're almost like dying from taking drugs, like, or critiquing like how people post their guns. Like that's what he remember that police skit that he did of like them catching the people. Like all his stuff is critiques, really.
Yeah, and it's
just funny. It's making fun of them.
And it's
not encouraging.
People would call it smart comedy because that's something that's like a Dave Chappelle. I'm not going to obviously compare Drewski to Dave Chappelle, but that's like that same sort of line of like joking about something that's also, serious at the same time. It's like, yeah, we're laughing because these people are being stupid over here, but we need to pay attention to the people being stupid over here. Yeah. Like we need to draw attention to guys that act that way. And also, like you mentioned, you touched on a little bit, maybe women don't actually know that that's like a thing. And like
Yeah.
that sounds crazy because we've been
I mean,
around people that are like that.
yeah. And I mean, like, I get that though, because it's like, there are some guys who are not trying to be rapey. They might be trying to be funny, but still at the same time, the root of trying to get a girl drunk, obviously, there's no other reason.
Yeah, and some guys might want a girl to be drunk or whatever just
To have fun.
Yeah, just because they want to turn it up and
Yeah.
that loosens everybody up.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not all, I feel like it's not all like malicious.
Yeah, it's definitely not. But
But for the most part, it's kinda weird.
I would say honestly, as a man, I guess I'll step in here. Yes, I would say 9 times out of 10. I would say 99 times out of 100 actually that the reason why a guy would want a girl to be drunk is usually because you have a better shot at them making a bad decision.
Yeah.
and like that's honestly the truth. I've obviously never done that.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I think that men a lot of times we had this discussion before about men not having game, whatever. What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about the guys preying on the younger girls.
Oh, yeah, the Miami.
For women out there, like in all honesty, men are so whack. Like there's so many different things that men need to use as crutches to get women because they're weirdos or they're like they don't have anything going for them. And there's just certain things that cause men or their insecurities. Like
Yeah.
there's all these different things that require men to do wild stuff like trying to get a girl under the influence so that they can have some sort of success, whatever that success to them feels like. So some of those crutches, if a guy leads with something about how much money he makes or job titles maybe, but if the lead thing is like, yo, I got money, that's a crutch.
Yeah.
They're using that because women like money and they think that you can buy them something or you
Yeah.
can treat them to an experience they've never had before. Money is a crutch. Trying to get a girl high, like there's always the drug dealing. Like they always like, yo,
Yeah.
come smoke, whatever. The guy that wants to get you drunk, that's another crutch. There's what else is there? That's really the big ones,
Yeah.
to be honest. It's really just anything that they feel like they can use as a way to coerce you.
The money's really like the main thing.
Money's the main thing, because then people be like, oh, they rent cars, or
Yeah.
they think that a girl is, or another thing like,
Or like some people use as a crutch that they're friends with like a famous person.
yeah,
Or
for
somebody
sure,
with followers.
for sure, or like the money thing really is the overall general thing.
I feel like, or too, if you yourself have some like little relevancy, right? Like if you like go
Yeah,
on a show or just something like that, like
but that's what I was saying. Like
yeah,
your title, if they lead with those sort of things, like yo, I'm this person, or I can do this for you,
Yeah.
or let me buy you a drink, like
Yeah.
let me take you, like all those different things that are
it's
like
funny that
basically
do girls
money.
do that. Now that I think about it,
You said, do girls do that?
yeah.
And let's say
Girls
women.
don't really have, yeah. I
Let's
mean,
say-
unless
let's
they're
say-
just thirsty for a guy's attention, because there are like pick me type girls who are just thirsty for a guy's attention. So I feel like what girls do is opposite. They actually will clown on people. I mean, guys do that too, though. You know how guys be clown on their guy friends around girls.
Yeah,
But girls do that too.
I don't think women do it as much because
Yeah.
it's not needed, right? Like
Could you're already a woman?
Yeah, like if
and
you're-
usually the guy comes up to you.
yeah, if your guys don't care if you are what your job title is at your
Yeah.
your corporate company or wherever you work, guys don't
Unless-
care. If you're pretty, you're pretty.
Unless you're just trying to find like a partner, a life partner, a wife, maybe.
You don't
Maybe, because some guys still just don't care about that for the wife title.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're looking for like a life partner, you want somebody who's like as driven and hustler like you. Then yeah, you might be looking for a job title
That's another thing. That's another crutch. Guys go after the girls that don't
that don't have nothing.
that don't have nothing.
Yeah,
So that way they have a more of an influence.
and even if the guy don't really have much, if you get a girl that got even less, then you don't feel as much as like a bum, you know?
Yeah. And I just feel like the skit was just highlighting like that exists. Like I don't really I never understood what the outrage was.
I was like, when I watched it, I'm like, this is hilarious. Like I know this one's gonna go super viral. And next thing I know, it was deleted. I was confused. I didn't even know there was any outrage, so I came back and saw it was gone, and it was on the shade room. And it's like,
Now
it was mostly the girls too. I'm gonna say that And I know a lot of them are victims. Like, I'm not being insensitive to that, but it's like, damn, it's just a skit. Like, we can't do this about everything. Like, come on, guys, we can't do this about everything.
I mean,
not everything could be a think piece. Like, why does everything got to be a think piece? Like, we don't need to hear a whole, oh, this is insensitive, and I did not find this funny.
Well, the thing is, I mean,
and I get it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I maybe if I was you, watch it
triggering. No, I'm saying it might have been triggering, but I just feel like my issue is it's just like I feel like it's just everything nowadays. Like, it's not even this situation in general, but it's just everything. I feel like it's like, oh, alopecia jokes. Oh, this is like everything is so like, I don't know.
The only thing,
like, literally, Pete Davidson made 9/11 jokes about his dad dying 9/11, and it's like, I mean, there was outrage for that too, but it's just like that wasn't super viral outrage.
Nobody cares about Pete Davidson. But
I don't know.
I would maybe understand it if he was, because the skit wasn't even a joke. Like, I didn't even see. I actually didn't even find it funny.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, that's funny. Like, the only reason like I find it funny is just because Drewski's funny. So it's just, like, for me, it wasn't like I was dying. Like, ha ha. It's just like, oh yeah, guys really do act like this. Like, it was like funny, like laughing at them almost, like laughing at the guys that are really like that. Like, not really, dying from the skit. But it's just Drewski's funny, and he like exaggerates. Like, not really exaggerates, but he's just good at remaking that.
I'm more so just saying, like, he wasn't making jokes about it. Like, it wasn't even that. It was just, this is how guys are.
Yeah.
And then
that's like you said, it's smart comedy. Like, the thing is, I don't think he was necessarily trying to make people laugh. I just think he was just doing it more lighthearted. And he's like an easily funny person. So if you have somebody like that who's adding a slight humor to it and making the funny faces and stuff,
Yeah, man, comedy is dead. I think here's one thing, right, that I wanted to say. So you can't tell people what they should and shouldn't be offended by, right? But I think that any subject matter and everybody, regardless of who you are, is subject to get laughed at. Like, sorry.
That's just the world.
Sorry. We've done this for decades. Just because it's impacting you right at this specific moment doesn't mean that you now get to be sensitive all of a sudden.
Now you laughing at that, but you probably laughed at something else that wasn't. Like people always say, like, you ever see when it's like somebody disabled or somebody like maybe with autism or something, and then people be like, damn, I'm going to hell. Like, that's like, because they know they're trying not to laugh, but they're laughing.
Yeah.
I'm sure so many people who said that were the same people complaining about this Juicy skit. Like, you can't pick and choose when something's funny.
Yeah, because people clown everything. People clown people's outfits, where they live, their houses, how their wig looks,
the hairline, receding hairline,
the clothes, the way you look. Oh, you're ugly.
The makeup. Oh, the makeup's ashy. Oh,
people get clowned all the time in the comments. If somebody doesn't like you, people get your weight, your skin color, your level of success, whether somebody died or not. Like, people get clowned about everything all the time.
Yeah,
like, it's just what it is. So everybody's liable to get clowned. Like, it doesn't matter it don't even matter what your condition is. Honestly, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just because you might be in an unfortunate situation, unfortunately, that's just what it is.
It's just life. It's billions of people, and you can't dictate how everybody's gonna act and talk and react and how people cope with certain things. Like, some people's Juicy skit might have been coping for them, the situation they went through. I know people personally who's have like parents who died, and for them their coping mechanism is humor. They need to be surrounded by friends and just laughing. They make light of it. You could tell they're grieving, but that's how they process it. They wanna just be in a jokey mood, even though they just went through something traumatizing. Everybody just copes things differently, and people go through things differently. Like I said, some people who were real victims of like assault and like rape and stuff might have found the thing humorous and a coping mechanism for them. You can't tell people how to react to stuff, and I just feel like it's just crazy that like that self-expression just goes away. Because like, why did you have to feel the need to delete it? If I was him, I just would have kept it up. Let everybody talk. Let people have their think pieces, but don't delete it. That's how you express it. And like unless something is so wrong, I get people do backpedal, but like something like that is like that wasn't bad to me for him to delete it.
Yeah, if anything, it makes women more aware. So pay attention to the guy that's doing that.
It's educational.
Comedy's dead.
Yeah. Comedy is dead.
Everybody's sensitive, yet everybody talks shit about everybody, so it's confusing.
It's weird, yeah. It's like everybody wants to be like on the internet, like activists, and they always want to be like, oh my God, take this down. This isn't so serious. Cancel him. Cancel. Like, everybody wants to sound so fake deep. But like you said, in the same breath, they're criticizing people and believing rumors about ASAP cheating on Rihanna.
And you got fake, and you're talking shit about your fake friends and all this other stuff. It's like, it's very hypocritical.
Yeah.
So, fuck all y'all.
I'm gonna keep laughing at all the jokes.
Yeah.
Drewski, keep posting.
Yeah, keep posting your shit. But speaking of Rihanna getting cheated on, so there was a lot of developments when I initially wrote down this topic. So allegedly, A$AP Rocky cheated on Rihanna with a Fenty. She works on like Fenty footwear or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Her name's like Amina or something.
Amina Muwadi, whatever. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say whatever. No disrespect. But yeah. So it's come out now since this whole thing. People put their think pieces in. How could you cheat on Rihanna?
I knew it was fake initially.
It didn't seem right.
The first reports came from like this random page I never heard of, like Kuko or something like that. And then from that, they got their information from some guy named like something with an L. And he was like, I know people. I'm like, you guys are just believing this random person. Like before even anybody said anything, Amina, Rihanna, A$AP, before anybody even said anything, I was like, you guys are stupid. Like I seen many tweets about people with all their think pieces right after that. And I'm like, what is your source? Kuko? Like this random Twitter page I never even heard of.
Yeah.
And then people were like, cheating on Rihanna is insane. I'm like, no, believing a rumor is insane. Like that's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, if you didn't hear it from
like,
the person directly.
Stupid? And they're doing all that clowning A$AP when it's like you don't know how this is affecting Rihanna. Like now you're being a hypocrite. She's like in her third trimester, almost about to give birth. And now you stressing her out by spreading a rumor online, like, and then clowning that girl's page. You know, they went to that girl's page and were dragging her, that Amina girl.
Yeah, it's all, but that's exactly what we were just saying about the comedy thing. It's like people are so sensitive, and then they're not.
Yeah, and now they're on this girl's page calling her all types of names, but was crying over a Drewski skit.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but to give people context. So someone by the name of Luis Villaroma, which is
that was the guy.
Interesting, or Luis Villaroma, because I think that's like a Luis Villaroma all in one word. I think is like I want to say Italian clothing store. So interesting play on the name there. So on April 14th, they went to Twitter and he said Rihanna and A$AP Rocky have split. Rihanna broke up with him after she caught him cheating with shoe designer Amina Muwadi. And that Amina is responsible for designing Fenty's footwear, and Rihanna is often seen in custom shoes from her own label. The user continued, A$AP and Amina is not new though, as she was seeing him years ago and also collaborated with him on a collection of shoes. They went on to report that things apparently hit the fan at Craig's, a popular Los Angeles restaurant, adding that Rihanna allegedly unfollowed Amina on Instagram. So that was the full context of the story. So he put all that information out, but then realized, he said it was a dumb decision posting the information. I'm not going to talk about sources, blame others for whatever, because he still put the tweet out anyway. So he formally apologized and accepts the consequences. And now he wants to take a break from Twitter.
Of course he does.
Or she, I don't know.
Playing victim.
But I think it's a he.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, Amina responded as well. She said she has a great amount of respect and affection for Rihanna and
she has
A$AP.
a boyfriend herself.
Yeah, right. So that's the other part where people put out these rumors. It's like you don't know what people have going on in personal life, and you don't know how that's affecting everybody's relationship. Yeah. And now there's going to be like this cloud of doubt or like
because even when it was proven wrong, like some other person was like, it was a picture. A$AP and Rihanna are in the Barbados right now. And there was like paparazzi pictures, and I saw in the comments someone's like, he's still a cheater. I don't care. And then the person came underneath and like, and we're like, how has this been like debunked? And like you have that much of hatred for somebody that you're still just gonna roll with it. Like that's like literally insanity. Like people are really like deranged. There's a lot of really weird, messed up people in this world. The fact that you even see a rumor, your first instinct though is to tweet. It's crazy.
Also, the biggest thing is who cares?
Yeah, right? Like everybody cared. These tweets had almost 1 million likes I was seeing. I'm like, you guys need to get a life. For real. You don't know Rihanna. You'll never know Rihanna. You don't know A$AP. You'll never know him. Like, get it
And
off
they,
of them. They're just a regular couple. Like, relax.
and they have more money than you, and they're
Yeah.
you would trade your life for theirs in a minute.
Yeah.
Which is why you shouldn't pay attention to really, honestly, what celebrities do in general, but definitely stuff like this. Like, leave people's personal lives to themselves.
Rihanna
Like,
ASAP better than me. Like, Rihanna's too. I mean, you know, they're older in a different place, but they better than me. I would have posted up a selfie together, put the middle finger up, and be like, "You guys are broken, lonely, stop spreading rumors about us. Get a
Pussy.
life. We are on a plane to Barbados."
they are like me though.
They are like you, both of them. That's why they get along. Like,
Exactly.
because they're literally like ASAP's always been low key. He's never was type to even post a lot. I feel like on Instagram ever, right? Like not that I know.
He just be chilling.
And
He
then
posts in
Rihanna's
archives.
been low key honestly since like anti. Like she's her online presence because she used to be clowning people online and fighting fans and stuff.
That was so long ago.
That was
though.
so long. Yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
She a billionaire now, but that's what
Yeah.
I was saying to you. I'm like, yo, once you get to a certain point, like,
They didn't even speak.
It doesn't even
Amina
matter.
spoke because she's the one that was accused of the cheating, and that's it.
and she probably been getting hit with it the worst.
Yeah,
Rocky don't even really have social media like that, so it's
Yeah.
like you can't really attack him.
yeah. And so her comments were crazy. I was reading. I'm like, people are really like crazy. Like this is you don't even know what's the truth. You're just believing something saw online. You're dragging this girl. Like that's just for me. That's really insane. Like it's actually really scary to me that people are that like mentally like deranged.
That's the interesting part. You know what? I feel like there was the conversation about like, does like bullying still exist? But I feel like everybody is so I was gonna say the word, but I'm gonna try not to be vulgar. But everybody's so P word that bullying, I guess, it's like only cyberbullying now,
Yeah.
which is whack. Bully me to my face.
Nobody's saying nothing in nobody's face no more.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
That's back in our like I keep back in our time like an old person, but that's really how
No,
it
it is
was.
back in our time. Like if you said something to somebody online, you physically saw them
Yeah.
shortly after. Me and my brother were just talking about that. He was like, we were talking about. I don't know if you overheard the conversation, but we were like, yo, bullying in the way they depict it on TV and movies is so drastically different than the way our experience was in school. Like we bullied our friends.
Yeah.
Like we would clown people. It wasn't really bullying, but I guess if you want to call it bullying, whatever. It was a mutual bullying because you're
Yeah.
friends.
I mean, some people did get bullied though. Like I've seen it.
We never had that.
Maybe that's a white school thing.
Yeah, I think I didn't want to say it initially, but I think it might be.
No, I think that's definitely. Even though I know like black girls bully each other though, they do.
They do.
But that like because there'll be people who they know is not going to fight back, and they'll just be making fun of them, right, clowning them. But then I definitely feel like that stuff happens predominantly in the white schools on both genders.
Yeah, because we never really had like even the black women, and not to generalize anybody, but they didn't do that. Like, because you're liable to get punched in your mouth. Like,
Yeah, I think the thing is at your school, everybody's kind of their match. But then you kind of do like probably even in the hood schools. Like, your school wasn't a hood school, but I mean like schools in like Brooklyn stuff. Like my mom has her story. My mom used to be bullied for no reason, like without saying nothing back, so she snapped. Like she told me the story about how girls used to just like pull on her hair and just mess with her for no reason, and she would just be quiet and wouldn't say nothing. Or they make fun of her for being skinny. Same thing I went through. Now one day she snapped, pulled a girl's braid out. I told you that story, right? My mom snapped. She snapped. She
That was so
got
long
these
ago.
girls' faces messed up. Like, don't mess with my mom. Like she's just like me.
I'm talking about nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. That was
Now it's
the
different.
70s,
Everybody's so
80s.
soft now.
Yeah.
It's like been a progression of people were tough, and then now everybody's super soft.
Yeah.
People not making these comments to anybody's face ever in life. Like you would never, and you could tell by I'm calling them, they're gonna be Generation TikTok. That's just gonna be how they're classified. But you could see in the way they speak and how like the videos that they make, and it's just a whole like I don't want to sound like that old guy and sound like I don't understand TikTok or don't understand the generation, because I like trust me, I do. But
Yeah.
within that, it made a lot of cornballs, and it made a lot of people that feel so confident
Like,
being
on
behind a
internet.
keyboard. Like there's not real life consequences. That like if you said some of these things to people in real life, that you are liable to get put in the ground.
And that's the crazy part. Like it really is something with this like with these phones and like that just make people bold. It's like you wouldn't even be like this in person.
That's the thing.
You would
You're
never.
not like that. You're not walking
You're
around
not.
doing that. Like I've seen people doing like the wipe your nose slat
Yeah.
blood thing. Like you're not walking to those places and doing that in those places. You're just not.
So,
Like,
yeah, so it's like don't do it at all. You look stupid.
yeah, you look stupid on your phone, like doing the TikTok dance, doing slat and throwing up gang signs. Like you look real stupid, and you look real stupid, and you would not do that on on the ops block doing that, and you wouldn't do it on their own block. Like, you just wouldn't do those things.
That's the thing. Anybody who's ever about like that online, I would love to just throw them in those situations.
Like, you don't talk like that to your parents. You don't do that when you at home.
Yeah.
You probably go home and go sit in your room, lay on the bed, and still be on TikTok all day. Like, you don't do any of that.
Yeah.
And this whole generation of people, like, of these kids on the internet and Instagram comments, and unfortunately, it's not even just the kids. It's our generation too.
Because we're right in the cusp.
Like, so what? If somebody cheated, and what?
Yeah, it's like
go pay your phone. Go pay your phone bill. Go pay your electricity bill.
Like, oh, how could you do this to Rihanna? You don't know Rihanna.
You don't know her.
And I'm sure she's not looking to the internet for if she did get cheated on. I'm sure she wouldn't go to the internet looking for strangers to console her. She got friends in real life. You guys not her friends.
Yeah, she makes great music, and she's a great personality, and she's very successful.
Yeah, like, she's admirable. Like,
but you don't know her because of those things. Know her.
But you could love her from afar and give public praise if you want to, but not defending her. Like, I mean, I defend Kanye, but like acting like going crazy over like a cheating thing. It's like, I don't know. It's weird.
This whole generation is weird as fuck. But Amina responded. She posted on IG. Or I think this is IG. I'm on social media. I don't know what none of this is. I've always believed that an unfounded lie spread on social media doesn't deserve any response or clarification, especially one that is so vile. I initially assumed that this fake gossip fabricated with such malicious intent would not be taken seriously. Excuse me. However, in the last 24 hours, I've been reminded that we live in a society that is so quick to speak on topics regardless of factual basis, and that nothing is off limits. Air horn. Not even during what should be one of the most beautiful and celebrated times in one's life. Therefore, I have to speak up, as this is not only directed towards me, but is related to people that I have a great amount of respect and affection for. While Rhea is continuing to live her serene, best-dressed pregnancy life, and I go back to my business, I wish everyone a beautiful Easter weekend.
The funny thing is, two people try to like, oh, but they unfollowed each other. It's like they never followed each other in the first place. Like, it's lies. Like, people take following too seriously. Like, just because they do work together don't mean they gotta follow each other, you know?
That's a major fact.
Like,
also,
I don't think they're friends. Like, I don't think they're like friends like that. I think they work together.
Also,
that's it.
You can communicate. Like, it's so crazy that social media is like the thing. Like, you can communicate with somebody.
Without following.
If I unfollow you right now on IG, I can text you.
Like, I mean, like, I get it because nowadays it does kind of mean something nowadays because, like, why not? But it's like, it's still kind of like, it still isn't that serious in my opinion.
Well, why not is because I don't want to see, following somebody means that you want to be up to date every single time they post something.
That's true, because we live together. And we together every single day. Why do you have to follow your significant other online? If you want to show them love, you could go to their page and like it and comment, okay, and share it. But it's like, why I gotta go in my feed and see you? I just sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes taking those pictures for you. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, I
took them.
I was there.
Yeah, so I get that, and it's like they just work together. They might not really be cool or friends to hang out like that. Like, I think celebrities are starting to get to the point where they just follow people they actually know.
Yeah, but even I've seen celebrities only follow like one person, but do people think that they only
they don't mess with nobody else?
Yeah, like, well, it's stupid. I hate this. All right, whatever.
I think Diara does that. It was on Twitter. She just follows Ken, which is funny because she still only follows him. I don't know if she'll unfollow him ever, but
honestly, and no disrespect to anybody that may be watching this that I do follow on any social media, but realistically, if I didn't think it would be taken a certain way, I would only follow you and my brother. I'm not particularly interested in the day-to-day updates of anybody else. And I would follow our pod page. I really don't particularly care about anything else. I would follow
people I know personally. Like, people that I still interact with. So, like people I know I'll be hanging out with, basically. So, like, AKA related, anybody who, I actually still see. Friends, family members. You. It would just be people I know. So, like, the acquaintances, people that we went to school with, that I don't even talk to and probably never will again, unfollow, That's what I would do. At this point now, I'm not going to, but if I was famous, I would.
Yeah, this whole thing is stupid. And if y'all fed into that, it's stupid. Whether it was real or not. Whether it was real or not.
Yeah, even if it wasn't real. All the think pieces and the essays, especially by grown men, I was like, what is going on? Like, cheating on Rihanna is wild. Like, why?
Hold up, let me get into that real quick.
It doesn't matter how she look, anybody can get cheated on.
I don't want to beat this topic to death, but just to speak on that really quickly. Because people don't know these people in real life, and we've had this conversation before. I think actually our most viewed video was the A$AP Rocky Rihanna pregnancy announcement, and we said similar things because people were trashing A$AP.
And don't even know him.
But to quickly reiterate what we said there, like anybody can get cheated on. Like success, status, money,
Yeah.
looks,
It
anything
don't
doesn't
mean
matter. It
nothing.
doesn't mean
And like you
anything.
guys, like you said, they don't know how Rihanna is. Like it's funny how people idolize her so much, but who knows? She could probably say some crazy things in private that would probably get her canceled, and no one will ever know. You might think she's really pretty, and then you guys actually might be friends, and then like girls that hype her up, and you guys might butt heads the same way you butt heads with your friends before and your ex friends in the past. You might have that same feeling that you have towards me, like any of my ex friends in the heat of the beef. What if Rihanna was just like me? Like the people, my friends who had beef with me about how I was. What if Rihanna's the same way? What if she don't be texting back? What if she, it's kind of not really a good texter in that aspect. And you might have that same beef for her that you have for me, but that's the thing, you don't know her. So you guys are so quick to defend somebody that you actually might hate. If you actually got to know her, you might actually hate her.
And I'm making an assumption here because anything that anybody posts on the internet, we're just assuming how their personality is.
Yeah.
I assume Rihanna to be very outspoken.
Yeah.
And
especially being from the islands, even though that's a stereotype.
Yeah.
But she just gives that off throughout her career.
So because of that, I would think that most of her opinions on things are very much hot takes.
Yeah.
And I think that she speaks her mind freely. And I think because of that, people that are singing her praises, I don't necessarily think that they would like her.
They might not like her.
Although we love Rihanna as a brand.
Yeah.
You don't know her as a person.
And how she acts online is a part of her brand. So she knows to say the right thing. She knows to support this and do this and support Democrats and support Black Lives Matter and do this. Like, it's PR. She's just being smart. She might be doing all that and then in real life might have feel a certain different way than she's posting online. We don't know her.
And to be clear, this is not specific about Rihanna, but just in general, like this is to have a broader conversation about you don't know these people in real life.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that Rihanna is some like racist.
No, yeah, we don't know how she is. Yeah, that's the point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know how she is, and you don't know how any of these celebrities are. So y'all need to stop being weird. Y'all don't know these people.
Yeah.
No more than we know them, but what we like to speak on is the facts. We're not going to speak on rumors.
That's like with me. Like when I defend Kanye, I'm just speaking on what I see on the facts. I don't know Kanye. I don't know Kim. I don't know. Like I might not like Kanye in real life. Like that's the crazy part. That's why sometimes I'm like, it's better not to even meet certain celebrities because you might be real disappointed. Kanye might get on my nerves in the real world, and I might want to fight him because he seems outspoken and like just like he seemed like we seen the documentary. His personality seems overwhelming and unpredictable, and I would probably be overwhelmed around somebody like that. But I just defend him online based off facts, like based off things I know, like that are public information. Like North shouldn't be on TikTok. I don't need to know Kanye or Kim or nobody to agree that she shouldn't be on TikTok and shouldn't be making certain TikToks. So when I be like, oh, Kim's trash for that, that's because, yeah, she is. Like, there's no reason. I don't feel like there's no reason that your kid should be on TikTok, no matter if it's supervised or not. So that's what I speak on and defend people on. Like concrete stuff like that, like non-debatable.
Yeah.
But you guys are signing ASAP over a rumor from this page nobody ever heard of. Like, and TMZ be wrong, but I would believe the TMZ thing before anything else. If they posted a rumor, cause they have been right a lot.
They're the feds, that's why.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're the FBI actually.
They got an inside man.
Yeah, but staying in celebrity news, there was, I would say one of I feel like every once in a while there's a vacation that people take and it becomes like a legendary or iconic vacation for who the people are that showed up on the vacation. Mm-hmm. We've known that with the infamous Giants vacation down in wherever they were at in Mexico.
Yeah.
And that was just a funny one. I think there was one with Lori Harvey and a bunch of people. But there was also one that was very recent, which was Jack Harlow and Drake were in Turks. And those pictures went everywhere.
The one where they met those girls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a while ago.
That wasn't this year?
Oh, yeah, it was. But I'm saying that was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing that up because within that time, obviously, they went there. Vacation is really, from what I understand, vacation for artists is just, we're going to still work, but we're just going to work in a place that's nice and sunny. So,
I mean, I'm sure it's a combination of both, but I'm sure every time, even when they go on those ships, they still be like, all right, let's get in the studio, and they have the portable stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but that's your life. Like, anything can give you inspiration. And you might be down there, like, oh, I got to get in the studio right now. Like, wow, this is fresh on my brain.
Yeah. They be like, yo, y'all seen that dolphin? And then they go get in the lab. But
So, yeah, definitely, especially like you said when there's those group trips,
for sure.
because it's like you guys aren't probably just hanging out. Like you guys are all together. Get the booth set up.
We're gonna hit a couple of things podcast bingo card. I feel like Kanye definitely popularized the meetup and link at a specific spot. I think it used to be, yo, we're gonna meet at this specific studio, but then it became, we're gonna go travel to a random country.
Did he like the rappers in the 90s do that, like Biggie and Tupac?
Nah, because it was all the music studio, yo, like,
Yeah,
yo,
you had to,
look, we're gonna go to so and so music studio in LA or New York or wherever. But I feel like with the whole Dark Twisted Fantasy, we're gonna go record in Hawaii thing. I think that from now popularized the whole.
He definitely started a
thing.
wave with that, yeah.
Like when everybody just went to St. Bart's, I feel like there was so much music probably that was made there. Like I feel like he definitely made that a thing.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. So if anybody knows if that was done before that, definitely let me know. But I just don't personally think so.
And even if it was done before, like Kanye popularized it though. Like I feel like that's still kind of debatable.
Yeah.
Because that was definitely a thing after that. You know, Travis going for Astroworld, like just the vibes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a legendary link up in Hawaii.
And we seen the doc. Kanye still be doing that to this day.
Mm-hmm. Fly out to
the DR to do Donda.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of Donda.
But yeah, because of that, this song or leak that just came out from Jack Harlow featuring Drake, I'm assuming came from that trip.
Yeah.
But it sent the internet in a tizzy because supposedly, and we don't know if it's confirmed.
Yeah.
But I saw some people saying this isn't about Pusha T. Okay. You know.
It's like, who else is it about then? Like, who else do these lyrics apply to? And it could be people we don't know.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think so. And also, I think that people need to stop doing the whole. I think that they put their own what they want out of Drake, like on Drake. Like they don't want Drake to still be talking about Pusha T. So then,
he's not thinking about him. It's like
he very well could be.
Look at Drake's track record. He'd be pressed about stuff beef years later. Even the beef that he's resolved, I'm sure he still got gripes, especially with Kanye.
Yeah, and most of that, if not all of it, from what I understand from an outside perspective, is probably justified.
Yeah.
Because you know what the thing is, for me, I think that if somebody crosses a line, you liable to get off whatever you want for the rest of your life now. And
obviously, like I said, I don't like Drake, but I do agree because this is a thing. I feel like I've experienced it. Like when you're just a successful person, like people do act weird and say weird things and say jokes. And I'm kind of like that. Like I feel like I kind of let things build up with people, but I do be just snapping and ready and cut anybody off for stuff like that. Like little stuff like that do kind of get you liable to get cut off.
You still are mad at things that happened mad long ago.
Me? Hmm? I'm not I'm not like every day mad about it, but when I talk about it annoys me.
Yeah, it gets brought up pretty frequently though. So I think it's something similar. It's just that he puts
the only reason it gets brought up is because it's like an experience of like, oh, like it's not like I'm actively thinking about it, but sometimes we see something or I hear something and like it reminds me of it, and then I bring it up.
I feel like it's the same thing, especially because
everybody.
We don't know how.
I don't think anybody ever really gets over stuff. Like, you have couples that still date and then they still bring up cheating that happened 20, 30 years ago. There was a video that went viral of like an old lady arguing with her husband. She had to be like 80. And she was like, what happened to Leanne? And then it was like something like that. And it was a black couple too. And the guy was like, that was like 30 years ago. I don't think anybody gets over it.
I agree.
And the girls were clowning like, why Granny bringing up a thing that happened 30 years ago? And then he was like, that was his girlfriend. He cheated. And she was like, literally, she was mad.
I agree. But that's what I'm saying. That's like reinforcing my point. Like if somebody wrongs you, you're liable to say or do whatever you want forever after that. Like if Drake wants to diss Pusha T for the rest of eternity, or if Pusha T wants to diss Drake for the rest of eternity, they can do so.
I think it's whack, but if he wants to do that, he could do it. That's how he expresses himself.
Yeah, I think that it's great because that's what, rap, it makes good for good rap. Like I would love a Pusha T response, but basically to give context for you guys that don't know, even though I think you would know because you're on this video, there was a leaked Jack Harlow and Drake song where he allegedly threw some shots at Pusha T, and it would have been recorded recently, so within the last few months.
Yeah, and that trip was recent.
Yeah, that
Could
trip
have
was
TikTok went viral of all those girls I met them.
yeah. And within that time frame too, from where I think it was recorded, there was interviews that Pusha T has done recently where he, you know, I hate that they're doing this to Pusha T, but every interview he's done since then has been about, like, they've asked about Drake, which is frustrating. I know it's frustrating for him,
Yeah.
but
Cause it's like, dang, like I'm here to promote my album.
Yeah.
Why we talking about Drake?
yeah. But Pusha T addressed some of the things regarding that beef. Some of the highlights, and this is me just paraphrasing loosely. He said that, and this he's been saying this for years, but he said that he was over it. It like basically began and ended with the song, so it was never no like ain't gonna be nothing physical. Nobody's gonna go shoot anybody kind of thing. And obviously Drake took the diss very personally. Pusha T is just chilling. He's just kind of mild mannered at all times, but he said he's just chilling. If he saw Drake, they walk past each other, he wouldn't say anything. There's no reason to have a conversation. He doesn't want to do music with him. Just kind of like, just whatever, like it's what it is. And that was on a Hot 97 interview where he said that. And then he also did one with Desus and Mero where he said that if you don't know, he recently had a kid, and also his parents died too. I think his dad or both his dad and mom died or somebody. I don't want to put death on anybody, but that's what I believe to have.
Yeah, and then he had the kid.
But he had the kid, so yeah, he had his kid, and then said that because he had his kid, he understands more about like
why Drake was mad,
why Drake was so angry. Because if it was the other way around, Pusha T would have been wilding out.
Yeah,
so
I can respect that. I still feel like I don't know.
I don't feel like he said it.
I don't think he said anything crazy. Like,
well,
I mean, but to be the person to announce to the world that you have a kid, that sucks. He had a plan. The Adidas, the Adidas collab.
No, he didn't say anything crazy about Adonis specifically, but he just, mentioned him.
And it still involved his kid, and the kid's mom.
Because that's the thing too, is that, but the thing is, what he justified it with, and he didn't say this in the interview, but he said this in past interviews, since Drake brought up his fiance.
He would have never did it. He said he was going to keep it. He was going to keep it to himself. But the second you brought family into it, we're going to talk family then.
Loved it.
So I don't think he should, I don't think he regrets it. I'm sure he just.
No, for sure.
He's just, remember, like, kind of just like reviewing what he did and just kind of like, okay, yeah, I understand. But I don't think he would take it back.
No, absolutely not. I think he would probably do even more verses.
It was just so iconic. And it's just funny. Like, it was funny to see Drake for once, like, get some heat.
Yeah.
Because all the beefs is always turn on his favor because of favoritism. It was good I feel like it was cool to catch. You got to catch the great slipping sometimes.
Which is
especially when they kind of deserve it. Because they be going crazy with the beefs.
But I don't feel like Drake purposefully beefs with anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think he does either. But some stuff I feel like is catty.
In all seriousness.
And Drake is not perfect either. We don't know. He could be the one starting antagonizing sometimes.
He could, but from what I've seen is a lot of his beefs are really just because of his status.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand people just hating on you.
Like, there was one specifically, I don't even know the rapper, but he was mad at Drake because Drake put on Smiley. I don't know if you're familiar with Smiley, but they did a song together recently that was going crazy. Drake's verse was nuts on that. But this was before that song where the rapper DM'd him saying, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to put me on because I'll take over the city. Yeah. He's from Toronto, so whatever. But see, like in instances like that, it looks like Drake has beef with this other rapper, but it's really like this rapper's just mad because Drake's putting on a different rapper and not you. So now it seems that Drake is problematic. But I think so many of those different things are really just people threatened by Drake's success. Even Kanye, the whole initial beef with the what did he do? Like taking him off all of the lights and doing all these different weird things to try to, like, I guess, sabotage his career a little bit. Like, was all because of threats from his success. So I just I don't know these people. Again, we just had that conversation. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but at least what we know from public information, I feel like most of it is just people mad at the success of Drake, which is common with people like Kanye. Jay-Z is another example, or Rihanna or Beyonce. People are mad at the success of that other people achieve. But
Yeah, because like, that's the thing. I feel like anybody successful is no coincidence that they get hate. But then there are some celebrities that generally are loved by all. But
yeah.
obviously Rihanna and her rise to stardom. I think now people don't try to go against her because they know they're gonna lose. But on her rise to stardom, she had beef with people. Because I hate seeing somebody become successful.
Yeah.
But people know when you're at a certain point not to really mess with you. Like I feel like even the Drake is at the point now where like the beefs are probably not really gonna happen anymore. Yeah, I think he's just at that point where people don't even want to take that risk anymore.
Yeah, even with this verse, like he's like, I have so much money now. It's not even relatable. Like he's running out of things to rap about because even Jay-Z's raps aren't relatable.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's talking about paintings and stuff that we don't.
Only a few people could understand. He's gonna have to make raps for the
we don't relate to
old money people.
Drake has Air Drake.
Yeah.
We don't.
And people just know not to really touch that because they know they're. I mean,
even
unless you're that talented, you know that people are just gonna side with Drake.
Yeah.
And Pusha T, I think that beef was 2018. Like Drake was obviously already at superstardom at that point, but like at this point, he's like at a different, a whole different level now.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Yeah.
But it's a blemish on his record for sure. But to get into the specific diss, sorry y'all, but he said my urges for revenge are controllable. Oh my God, let me start again. Clearly, I did not take English class. He said my urges for revenge are uncontrollable. I know we're getting older though, yeah, but I gotta get a nigga back for that. It's not negotiable. It's not even debatable. And then he says, all I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen. All I hear is tall tales coming from little men. And then he also says, if I see you, I spit in your faces. Daytona with the green faces. So, the reason why people are thinking, if anybody's confused, the reason why people are thinking this is about Pusha T is just about revenge. My urges for revenge are uncontrollable. I know we're getting older though. Both Pusha T and Drake are getting up there. Pusha T's in his 41, I believe, and Drake is in his like mid 30s.
Yeah.
But he said, yeah, I still got to get him back. I think that was the only time Drake ever got. So that is like the only thing that I could personally think of that he's referencing.
Yeah.
It's not negotiable. It's not even debatable. God, I can't speak. He said, all I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen. Pusha T is probably the number one coke rapper. Yeah. Definitely top 3 coke rappers ever.
And they call him middleman.
Yeah,
so they're saying, so I think he probably comparing Pusha T to being a middleman. Like you got people like Kanye in front of you. You're kind of just there in the middle. You're not mid, but you're not superstar.
And also just talking about in the drug game in general.
Double entendre. Yeah.
And he also did. I don't remember the bar specifically, but he said something like this before. So this is why it's like.
In
about Pusha T, because he said like y'all act like y'all was Pablo Escobar or something, like it was like some line
him
like
saying
that.
Tall tales, yeah.
And then all I hear is tall tales coming from little men. And then he said, if I see you, I spit in your faces. Daytona with the green faces. For y'all that don't know, Daytona is a Rolex watch, and Pusha T's album, last album, critically acclaimed, Grammy nominated.
The album was named after the watch.
No, Daytona Beach.
Oh,
where they're from.
Oh, and his is about like the watch, but still, like you throwing Daytona in there.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
Yeah, so that was the alleged.
I mean, Drake gotta relax though, because like we said, obviously you can have beef whenever you want. Like for me, I feel like for me, I'm that way. Like beef for me is for life, depending on what you did. Like it's not like I'm presently beefing with you. Like don't like. Flatter yourself, it's not like we got beef, but it's like if we had beef, it's for life. Like I would never be cool with you again, just sort of out of respect for myself, unless there was no beef. Like if we had beef, then it's beef for life. But that don't mean we got beef right now. But if we had it, then it's done. I don't ever double back.
Yeah.
Like I said this in the podcast before. Anybody who I ever will double back on it's just because nothing happened. Like we just kind of like it was nothing that was that crazy. You gotta do something that's like crazy, or just so disrespectful. Like that's just not respectable to me. So I get Drake still talking about it, but it's like, do you really want to open this can of worms again? I mean, at this point, I'm sure Pusha don't got no other not beef, no other like, what's the word? Like gossip or tea on Drake. But just rapping wise, I feel like Pusha T's a better battle rapper. Cause we talked about this before. Like Pusha T's his whole story added on was just straight Drake disses. Drake's disses are like he does a lot of rhyming and just other topics, but then adds insults in there. I don't think he's really that good at battle rapping. Like he's not really good at like rap beef.
Yeah, I think he focuses too much on
Like double entendres and all that. It's like
not even
which
that.
you can still do that.
I think he focuses too much on having moments.
Yeah.
And we haven't had like many like. Well, yeah, we've had. He's like probably the king of subliminals. I think he just has like in back to back specifically, he had moments in back to back.
Yeah, like we talked about, like the world tour thing, like the girls tour. Was it the world tour, your girls tour? Like we talked about this recently. Like that was like his moment, and that was like the bar everybody was tweeting.
Yeah, but the whole rest of it like
was mid, and even that part was kind of mid. I mean, it was funny.
It kind of wasn't. Like,
what?
Like, yeah, that's my girl's tour.
Yeah, Meek's probably like, okay, I'm proud of her.
It's my girl's tour, and it is a world tour. It's both.
Because now you're kind of clowning Nicki, because like, okay,
what does that mean?
Yeah, right. Like, all right, like I'm proud of my girl. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, it's not mine. Like, it's like you don't be saying nothing crazy. So I feel like, do you want to open up this can of worms?
I hope so.
Pusha T, yeah, I mean, I hope so too, because I like when we get some powers from Pusha T.
I just like good music.
Yeah.
And
here's the album. Ooh, when did it come out already? No, come out this Friday, right?
Yeah.
Or is it getting postponed? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we get some music from both of them.
I wonder if he got any bars on his album. Any Drake disses. Maybe not though. If nothing has happened recently, I'm sure Pusha T's not really talking about him unprovoked. He don't want to look crazy either, but
he should just keep dissing Drake.
Yeah, cause I think it's just funny because he's the only rapper that's doing this. If you think about it, that's taking this many years and just.
Because you know what's unfortunate is that.
Because Drake wants to win. He wants to have the last word.
It's unfortunate. I think that rap became a lot like basketball. And if you guys are wondering, we're watching NBA playoffs behind us, the Warriors game. It's a blowout, but tying in the relation to basketball. Nowadays, basketball became so much of like a friend-based sport. Like, you'll link up with my friends. We're gonna make our team together, and we're all gonna play together. And it kind of reduced competition in a lot of ways, where you see super teams and people linking up, and it makes it not like competitive because people don't want to compete.
Yeah.
Because people just want a ring, and they just want to be validated, and they just want to go to the Hall of Fame, or they just want all these different accolades that they think they're gonna get from getting a ring. Which they're gonna get those things, but because of that, people want to team up, and then it lowers the competition level. I feel like rap is the same way, where everybody just wants to all be friends, and not that rap needs to be about beef or be so serious.
Yeah.
But rap in like the earlier days of rap, like not even the earlier days, like kind of in the middle, because I think rap is about like 40 years old or so. So like right around the 20-year mark, where you had the different boroughs in New York all going at each other and battling. Like nowadays it's not like that. It's like now New York is, I got a drill beat. Let me get everybody in New York on the drill beat, which is it's cool. I like the camaraderie. It's cool, but you do miss out on.
You said there used to be beef between boroughs.
Yeah, there would be like Brooklyn versus Queens was one.
Yeah.
Like Mobb Deep versus Jay-Z of Brooklyn, or like.
And now you got Bronx. Yeah, Cardi B, and she in Brooklyn.
Yeah, and
you got Nicki from Queens. It's
like all these different. There was borough beefs. Like there was East Coast, West Coast. There was
like I miss the beefs. We don't got that no more.
There's no competition
at all.
I think part of the problem is that when people have beef now, like these new kids, they be spinning.
They just shoot.
They be spinning the block.
And that's why they're killing off all these rappers. Even though people have died, a lot of rappers have died though in the 90s and 80s.
Nah.
Well,
it was just.
Where did all that killing stuff start happening in the 90s? Like Biggie, Tupac.
Yeah, like we lost people, but they were just really, 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 really prominent people that we lost. Nowadays,
I mean, there could have been up and coming rappers that were being killed, but it just wasn't reported on.
Yeah.
But now it's everything. Like now it's not even just up and coming. Like it's people who are still kind of who reach some relevancy.
Yeah, it's because back then, like you had to have some sort of drive to become a rapper. Like I could go,
Yeah.
the equipment we're recording on right now, I could record a whole song right now and put it out.
And that's why the rappers were good.
Yeah, back then you had to really get studio time. You had to really care about it. So there was less rappers because of stuff like that. But now everybody's a rapper. It's just people that are like gangbangers that just happen to rap. So then when they get killed, it's like we lost a rapper. But it's like, nah, they were just gangbanging.
Yeah, that rapped.
And then they
And
just,
this stuff just popped off.
yeah, they just had a song or two.
Yeah.
So I think now a lot more rappers are dying, like for sure.
So corny.
But yeah, I
And
just
also
missed.
too with technology though, people it's easier to find where people are at now too, to kill them.
Yeah,
Even though back then it was easy to find people though too, because you knew they had a show or something. But people post everything on Instagram now. Like you say, you don't even got to be famous anymore.
yeah. I just want competition. I don't even want beef, and I don't really even like the word beef because beef to me means physical violence.
Yeah, just competition. Like you said, it's all like kumbaya now.
Everybody wants a Drake
female
verse.
rap unity. Like, nah, I want to see Cardi versus Nicki versus Lotto
Everybody.
versus Meg. Like, why we all gotta be like friendly? Like, I get you want like let's collab because that's always been the thing. The female rappers like, okay, cool, do a collab here and there, but everybody's like besties and like, yeah, support each other. Yeah, we all win. Like, I get that, but that was never the culture.
A lot of times, I don't even think that the collabs make sense. Like
Yeah, they just throw
stuff
people
doesn't make
together.
sense. Like people be begging Jay-Z for a verse. It's like, why would a Jay-Z give you a verse? Like it just doesn't make sense.
And like
to
your
do
song, does your song even match his vibe? Like J. Cole and Jay-Z make sense. Pusha T and Jay-Z make sense. Even Kanye and Jay-Z still at this point make sense. But what's Jay-Z gonna talk about on your song that you're gonna relate to or that you're gonna speak on?
Yeah, I just think a lot of the collabs don't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't want a Nicki and Cardi collab.
Me neither. I never do.
I think it would be great.
Like we had collabs with them.
I think it's a
Motorsport.
moment,
It was a moment. Motorsport was a moment, obviously.
but it's like,
If anything, it made Cardi look bad though. Like how you get destroyed on your man's song by Nicki.
I don't like I don't want a Lotto and Nicki song. Like I don't want a Megs and Nicki song. I just
Hot
don't.
Girl Summer was. Ugh, I didn't like that song at all.
Yeah, there's just it's just too friendly. We should get back to competition and hopefully Push has some sort of response.
The competition just made rap better.
Yeah, it makes people, but people don't want to be better
People don't want to be competitive. Nobody wants to like.
because people are too afraid to lose.
Yeah,
You got to embrace losing.
yeah,
And if you don't want to lose, then just get better. But instead of just trying to get better, people just don't want to compete at all.
yeah.
We had this conversation on the pod before that people just don't want to compete. People don't want to strive to get a better job. They don't want to learn nothing
Yeah.
to apply to
be
get
better,
be
yeah.
better in life. They don't want to work on a new skill. People don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's laziness and being afraid to fail. But failure is where you learn. You don't learn by doing something right the first time.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So we need.
hopefully this was Drake baiting Pusha T to respond, and then Drake has something loaded in the clip and is about to
know.
let it off.
Cause he might have something.
Because he might, and I hope he does. Because when things get leaked, it's not for no reason.
Yeah. Especially Drake. Like I don't know though. I feel like he just bored though. Like why are you trying to reignite the beef?
I think we had this conversation before. I think he's like, maybe he found something out. Maybe now he's like, okay, I think I could be in a position to get this blemish off my record. Maybe it's something that could get him hot. Because it's like Drake has so much success. It's like, how much more can he really do in music? He needs something to like bump him up. It's not like people won't pay for his album. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like that's not going to be a thing. But maybe he needs something else to like fulfill himself. Like he's gambling a lot. Like I feel like he just is bored. Like,
Yeah, he might just be bored.
he's probably just bored with life. Like he has his kid. It's like he's just
It's gonna be interesting though, because either Pusha T just leaves it like I don't care, whatever, just talk to yourself, or he responds. But Pusha T's the type that's gonna respond. I feel like in some way, it might be some slick bar.
he's scared.
Is it? Huh?
He scares me.
Yeah, he does.
He's too calm. He's like me. He like is like the embodiment.
I
of
don't
how
think I've
I
ever
am.
seen him yell.
He just be chilling. I don't like his he be smiling too much for
Yeah.
me. I don't like that.
He gives me evil villain vibes.
Yeah, he definitely
calm, calculated. That's what he said. Surgical.
surgical. But that's what I'm talking about. Like with the diss, it's like it's precise. It's like I'm gonna diss you, this is it. Every single line. You're not gonna waste a line. I'm not gonna tell you about how much money I have. I'm not gonna tell you about what car, what club I was in. It's gonna be very precise.
Yeah.
And that's what gives makes good disses happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think you have one more topic.
That's all yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the last topic was about this Black therapist. This is we're at Twitter discourse segment of the pod. So this is what I'm gonna play the video, and this is where it all started. So there was this therapist on TikTok, and I guess she said something like she's the Black therapist, and she just gives, like that's what we're seeing nowadays on social media, like especially on TikTok. We're seeing people from different professions, like doctors, lawyers, accountants, like people who now are able to directly just talk to people and talk. I guess they talk about their experience or talk about things that they see, and then they relate it to their profession. So this therapist, there was a tweet. This is how I found it because the tweet landed on Twitter. And this girl tweeted, "I wonder how many other therapists have to contend with these feelings. Licensed therapists on my timeline. I'd love to hear from you." So here's the video. Oh God, it's kind of long, but maybe we'll just play a little bit.
So here's this thing that
She said the relationship math ain't mathing.
So I'm a therapist, licensed psychologist. I work with women primarily, Black women, and I work with a handful of couples. Couple revelations.
Can you hear it?
I haven't seen
I can
any
hear
of
it.
my couples this week.
I'm just gonna talk a little bit, so hopefully we don't get it flagged.
And I realized that my energy at the end of the week was different, notably different. And I connected it to the fact that it's because I'm not seeing the couples. And the couples that I'm currently working with are all heterosexual couples. And the emotional labor for me to see the men in the relationship as full, whole human beings who are deserving of love and empathy is sometimes overwhelming because of the way that I see them engage with their women partners and the way that I see the women partners overcompensate for their male partners.
You want to try to summarize a little bit?
Lack of empathy, lack of compassion, lack of emotional intelligence, lack of responsiveness, lack of accountability. It's exhausting. Women who are in loving, intimate
Falling asleep
relationships
here.
with cishet men are doing a lot of emotional labor in addition to a lot of additional domestic labor, especially if there's a marriage and households. The math ain't mathing in these relationships. And sometimes the responsibility for me as a therapist to be objective and to hold the space of serving the couple is effort, because I really, really want to talk to the men and help build the men's emotional intelligence and the men's capacity for emotional discomfort and the men's ability to regulate their.
That was basically it. So the beginning half was more so what people were talking about. So this guy tweeted it and said, "This Black female therapist admits that she has an issue seeing her Black male clients as fully human, and people are saying that that therapy is the solution to all social woes of Black men." So you heard that beginning part where she was like, well, first of all, I feel like anybody who goes into being a psychologist or therapist, I get like, our friend is a guidance counselor, so I hear the stories of what she deals with, and I understand that, but I feel like to go on the internet and like complain about a job you chose is kind of weird, right? Like all of our jobs are like, we all do that though, but it's like you're specifically complaining about like that emotional labor aspect of it, and I feel like that's kind of disrespectful if your clients see that, right? It's like now you feel, I guess maybe the clients should know that, but it's like you're this person I go to. And yeah, they're human, and I get that. And they're going to have bad days. Like, I'm not being insensitive. But to go on the internet and complain like that, like, who your clients could see.
Time up. No. Nah. When you're a professional, and I don't care what capacity you're a professional in, you don't get to have a bad day. Sorry. Like, if you're in customer service, you don't get to just have a bad day. If you're having a bad day, just don't go to work that day.
Yeah.
Your pilot can't have a bad day. Your doctor can't have a bad day. The surgeon can't have a bad day. The
Your
person,
CPA can't have a bad day.
the person
You gotta
driving,
bring me into it.
the person driving the
I'm not
subway,
CPA yet, though.
the person driving the subway train can't have a bad day. If
Yeah.
you're in a profession, you're not allowed to do poorly just because you're just not feeling
'Cause
that
you're
great that
human.
day. Like just
Yeah.
because you're human. No, you're there to do a specific
And
job.
you have a responsibility that you signed up for.
Yeah, or just don't do it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah,
like,
just change professions. And once you feel like it's not for you, the emotional labor is too taxing, then time to go. It's not worth your mental health. Go get a new job. And I get like that's not really fair to say. Because they might be like, "Oh, I really love my profession. Like I love, I
No, you
love to
don't.
serve."
no, you don't.
It's like, well, do you love to serve if you don't accept the bad that comes with it?
Yeah, if you
have,
don't.
you have to accept the good and bad of everything that you do. And to go on the internet where TikTok is so easy to go viral and say stuff like that, like if I was a black couple, I would not want to go to her after that. Like you kind of just shut down your own clientele. I wouldn't want to go to a therapist who's going to go on TikTok to tell the world about our session.
Really think about what she's saying. Like, what if your pilot is just like, it's really hard for me to just, fly these people
Yeah.
safely. It's
If
like,
you're
whoa.
a psychologist, you have to be biased. I don't care if you like you have to put your personal feelings aside. You can't go into that. Like how you giving a couple, you might be giving couples therapy, but have issues at home with your partner. So you're gonna be biased, whether it's unintentional or not. You're gonna say slick things. You're gonna side with the woman because you're a woman. I just feel like there's no way to be unbiased in these professions. And I feel like if you can't be that, then don't be in that profession.
I think that psychology is like, or therapy and the way therapy works, I feel like it's like,
It's kind of pretentious.
I feel like it's misguided. I think that the way that they should do it with an arbitrator, kind of like what they do in sports, and I try to relate things back to sports, but I think a lot of life can be told through the struggles of sports. But when the league, for those of you that don't know, basically in every league there's the union of the players, and then there's the league itself. So like the NFL, there's the NFLPA, which is the NFL Players Association, and then there's the NFL. They're two different contractual parties, and there's people in the NFLPA that represent the players and what the players want in terms of like, things to make them safe. Like if they want better helmets or something like that, the NFLPA is the people that do that and push for that. It's not the NFL. The NFL really doesn't care. They just want money. Mm-hmm. So long story short, when they're negotiating what's called a collective bargaining agreement, or just a collective agreement on how things are going to take place in the current season, like what jerseys are we wearing, what logos are going to be on where, like how many games are we going to play, travel arrangements, all that kind of stuff, is listed in an agreement called the CBA, or collective bargaining agreement. And the two parties will negotiate and try to get that CBA in place, and that's what allows the season to take place. The MLB just recently, and I promise I'm going to get to a point eventually, the MLB recently, the season was a little bit delayed because the Players Association and the MLB couldn't come to an agreement. And then usually in those situations, they bring in an arbitrator, which is just a third-party person to help mediate the situation. I feel like therapy is so much more, they try to do so much of a emotional sort of breakdown and blah, 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 blah. I feel like they try to make it too technical. They really just need somebody to mediate. Have the two people talk to each other. Don't have them talk to you and then you try to talk back to them. Like I feel like, and
I mean, I'm sure
wrong.
that's how it is because we never don't know what it's like.
I could be wrong, but like, nah, like guide the people. I feel like therapy in a lot of ways is trying to identify an issue. Like, I feel like you should have the people identify the issue. If that makes
I think
sense.
they do that though. Cause from what I hear, sometimes they'll do things like they'll give you homework. Like, oh, my therapist told me like I come back next session and tell me about any times in my childhood that I felt this way. Like I think they do kind of unpack and then they make you do the work and then you come back and bring it up. I don't think they force you to just come up with stuff. You know what I mean? Like based on what I hear, I think it depends on the therapist that you go to or who you go to or like what, But I think they do that for somewhat. But I agree with what you're saying. So like I feel like all therapists should do that.
Yeah, I just feel like there should be somebody in the room to guide the conversation.
Yeah,
not
I think it is like that for sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't want therapy to be like somebody steering you in a certain direction. Because if somebody's steering you in a direction, it's going to be whatever direction they want to steer you in, and that's kind of like what this is sounding like.
And that's why like I think there's like a fine line between therapy and like life coach.
Yeah.
Because people go to life coaches if they want to get coached on life, which is kind of crazy to me. Like, why you gotta tell me about? I don't know. some of these professions are like, I get they're needed and there's people that use them, but for me, it's like, you can give me advice, but you can't tell me how to lead my life. I don't know. So yeah, that was like the main thing. I thought that was like the first red flag. Like, why does this video even exist? But then, like even what she was saying, I feel like that is like a crazy concept. Like that, this, we don't know the stories that she's hearing. I'm sure she hears crazy stuff. And then, women are known to be more of like the emotional person. The more of like, when it comes to feelings, they're the ones that are just more like I don't know if that's a scientific thing, that we're just more of that, like an emotional creature, and like we put so much emphasis on emotional type of things, and I feel like men might put more emphasis on like needs, if that makes sense, like material needs, like money. Like I don't know if that's an actual thing or if that's because society dug that into men's mind, because it seems like that is like a lot of like people's, it's like the same story, like, oh, the woman's there emotionally for the man, but she doesn't feel that same support back. But the man's there materially and pays the bills. And I don't know if that's just society that put that in people's brains, or if that's like an actual scientific reasoning that women usually are more emotional laborers. I don't know. I think it could be a little combination of both, right? But
I think that women don't. I think women, to be completely honest, and this is just me and my own biased personal experience and generalizing women in general, I think that women seem like they're emotionally available just because they're emotional, but that doesn't mean that they're like, I think that just because they're emotional about things makes it seem like the man is not emotional about things, or just because they're emotional about something means that they're emotionally available for the man, which is not necessarily true.
Yeah.
So I think the misconception is that men don't need emotional support or like don't feel feelings.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because of other factors. Maybe men don't feel like they are allowed to be emotional, or maybe they don't want to put their feelings out there because they know it's not going to be like in exactly like what she was saying. She's like not even looking at men's cases.
Yeah, because it's like you're hearing what the woman's going through, and honestly, obviously, you could always be wrong. Like sometimes the man could just be straight wrong, and the woman is actually suffering. That, I'm sure there's a lot of situations where the man in the situation and the woman in the situation, vice versa, are just a bad person, just mean, just that type of person. But lots of times, there's probably is some stuff that is not being talked about, and like if you can't even see the man as human, like you're talking about, you don't even see them as human. That's crazy. Like if you can't see that maybe there's a reason. Like, why don't you dig deep into what they've been through? Maybe they went through something. Maybe they had a certain childhood. Maybe something made them this way. There's no excuse, but it's like why have that? But you have that same empathy for a woman, you were saying. But then you don't see the man as human. Like I feel like that's such a crazy statement to say that she doesn't see them as human.
Why does it seem that women always have a problem with men? Like, why do I feel like it's
That's what I was gonna open up more too, because there's like been a whole bunch of black men versus black women debates on the internet again because of this topic and the Drewski topic. I don't know.
Because I see obviously black men talk disparagingly about black women. It's not like that's not a thing.
Yeah,
it's not common, of course.
Yeah, but we've seen it.
It exists. But why do I feel like it's always black women against black men?
Because I actually can't even give you an answer why. Because I just feel like a lot of women have these experiences that they carry over into everybody's experience, and they just feel like I think the black men aren't really put in a good light on social media, so that only amplifies other people's situations. So I think it's because you see social media, then you have people who actually experienced it, and then you have a mix of people who are seeing it, and then they're seeing those stories, and then they're carrying that mindset. They might not even personally experience anything, but they're seeing a mix of everything on social media, and it just creates this huge wave where now there's this general consensus out. All men, people have a thing about all men, but specifically in the black community, that they're just all cheaters, they're all deadbeats, they're just, they don't do the little things, they don't do the big things. And that's literally what I wrote. I'm like, this gender war thing is so crazy, because it's like you have them saying that, right? But then I don't think women even know what they want. They just pick different things on the internet, and it's like they want everything. And it's actually kind of insane to me. I'm like, you want a man to do everything, right? You want them to go to work every day, So you could stay at home, or you have your job, but they have to pay the bills, right? So the more the pressure is more on them to maintain that job, because like you're man in the household, everybody's looking to you for money. So that how much pressure that got to be. Like if you're having a bad time at work, you think you might get fired, and like the whole weight of your whole family's on you. That's emotionally taxing on somebody. But a woman probably won't think of a man in that way. So he's like, you want him to do that and be stressed and like have that burden, so he can pay all the bills. And then you see tweets about, oh, men who don't know how to cook. What are we, 5? Like you should cook too. That's a life skill. But it's like, all right, but you want them to pay all the bills and have a job that could do that. They're not gonna have time to cook. You can't want everything. Oh, men need to know how to clean. That's a life skill. Yeah, I agree. But then you can't also say that and want him to pay the bills. Because it's like, okay, so we got the emotional burden of paying the bills for the whole family, right? And if you're paying the bills for everybody and for your wife and you are well off, you have to make at least $100K minimum, I feel like, nowadays. So that's going to be a job that requires a lot of work and time. So like you was talking about banking. You think anybody working in banking got time to really come home and cook a meal for a family, clean the whole house, You might not have time. So it's like, they can't be everything. And it's like, now you want them to take care of the kids too. Like, oh, men need to take care of the kids. It shouldn't just be on a woman to do that. And I agree. I agree because I'm a 50-50 person. I'm a partnership person. So I agree because that's what I am. But you got women who want the men to pay all the bills, but think they need to cook, clean, and take care of the kids too. No, that's your job. If you want to do traditional gender roles, you got to do your part too. You got to cook and clean and take care of the kids. That's your job. That's what it was traditionally. So it's like women are just insane to me. We want them to do everything. How are they going to do everything? Like if you feel that way as a woman, that it's one-sided and that you shouldn't be having to take care of the kids on your own and cook and clean on your own, then you also have to be for we split the bills. Because if you're splitting the bills and the man's not taking care of the kids and kind of neglecting his part, not cooking and cleaning, yeah, be mad. But if you want him to pay all the bills, then you can't be mad about that. And what else I wrote? Yeah, but then you want them to be, oh, I need me a Bob the Builder man. So right now you want him to be able to build houses, do yard work, take care of the kids. He got to cook, he got to clean because of life skill, and he got to pay all the bills. And then you wonder why. And then now you're hearing that they can't go to therapy now because the woman might not even understand that. Like men I feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, right? Like how do you want them to be everything? Like people take clips from everything, and they take think pieces from everything, and they create this one giant thought process on men. So with that mindset, everything a man do is going to be wrong in your eyes. Oh my God, I got an itch. So it's like these women are taking Twitter outtakes and hot takes. That's the word. These people are taking Twitter hot takes. And I feel like that's probably more now than ever. The emotional taxing on men is probably bad, especially black men. Nothing he does is gonna ever be all right for you. You're mad because he's not cooking. You're mad because he's not cleaning. You're mad because he's not paying the bills. You're mad because he's not taking care of the kids. Like, you got to pick and choose. If you want a traditional man, you got to be a traditional woman. If you're going into a relationship as a partnership, then yes, you can be mad if they're not holding up their end of the partnership. But that's not how these women are acting online. They want them to do everything.
I'm not trying to reinforce any stereotypes or cause an even wider divide. But from what I've heard, and this is of course generalization, but I've heard other races of women don't do that, and that's why some black men prefer other races. Like I've heard Asian women are not like that at all.
Depends. Well, that's stereotypes, but
of course,
yeah.
But if that is the case, then they should understand that that should be understood that if a guy has a negative, just in the same way that people are so sympathetic of a woman being traumatized or something, they had some past experience and now that's the way they are and that's why they don't trust men, then that should be afforded to men as well. If men's experiences that I had this black woman that was putting all this pressure and she wanted me to do all these different things and I wasn't even getting emotional support or anything at all.
Yeah.
So now if that's been my experience a couple of times and so now I want to go with a different race, then that should be understood as well, that there's probably some trauma there. And I'm not justifying it, but if there's no sitting down and really trying to understand things or discussing things, then this is just gonna be left nowhere.
Yeah. And I, you, like I said, you hear when that therapist says, so it's like, how could you even go to a therapist and expect empathy on both sides and hearing out both sides and understanding why people are how they are and what, and the reason why they feel a certain way or act a certain way,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like the gender war thing is so insane to me, honestly. And like I said, like I feel like of course, like nobody, I feel like like I said, I just call it hypocrisy. And most of what's going online is women criticizing men. So that's why I always seem like I hate women. And I'm like a pick me. But no, that's just because I call it hypocrisy and I just call it insanity. Like you can't expect a man to be everything, and it has to be a partnership. And like I said, if you want him to be traditional, you got to be traditional. That's how it was back in the day. The woman stayed home and took care of the kids and cooked and cleaned meals every day. And that's why that was the topic too, and why gender wars came up, because people were mad about women who said they plan on cooking for their husband or boyfriends and stuff. It's like, why are you mad because they want to cook for him? Like, but you want him to pay the bills. Like, that's just crazy to me, right? Like, you're mad about that, but a man has to pay all the bills and pay for all the dates and pay for this and pay for that, But now you're mad at women who want to be a traditional woman.
Question for you.
It would be like a man would be like, oh, I pay all the bills. And they'd be like, king. A girl would be like, oh, I cook for my husband every day. Oh, she had pick me. Girl, pick your head up. Stand up. Like, what?
Question for you.
Yeah.
When women want men to pay everything, what are they doing with are they spending their own money too?
I've seen a few people like, oh, well, my money is saved for trips. Like, I pay for it. I save for trips, or I pay for like vacations for them, I guess. Or some girls, they be like, nah, my money is just for me to spend on clothes and like leisure and for the household. They're like, oh yeah, I buy the tissue. I'm like, okay. But remember, I told you that one situation about that guy at my job. That's because his girl was making significantly less. They came up with an agreement that she was paying for the household items and he paid for the bills.
So what? Make more money.
Yeah. Don't live together then.
Like, yo, I get tired of like even that is crazy. Cause like, I'm not going to give my own personal opinion because people are going to because they're going to then try to derive how our relationship is based on my own opinion.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it's crazy to me. While I do kind of understand it, like imagine like you're almost being punished for making more money.
That's what I'm about to say. Cause remember we had this conversation before. I'm like, all right, maybe if you make so much more money, maybe we'll do like 60-40. But like now that I think about it, it's like, nah, like you should be living where you could afford. And I feel like unless it's your decision, right? Unless you like, I want something more luxurious, can I make you more? And I'll put up more money since this is my decision. Yes, then yeah, that makes sense for you to pay more of the bill because you want to move here because that's in your price range and it might not be in mine because I don't make the same. But if you guys have a mutual decision and you're a partnership, that's why, no offense, but your partner should be on your level. I say date people on your level, marry people on your level. And that, if money is your priority. Because it's like, why would you not want your girl to be making as much money or more than you? And you guys both ball out together, both have the same taste, both have the same tax bracket, And it's like, yeah, why should you be punished? Like, oh, you got to pay more to bill because you make more money. It's like, nah, you live here too. You live here.
You get the same benefits.
Yeah, you live here. You paying your half. That's it. So
they're spending their own. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Some of them were like, well, yeah, I foot the bill for trips.
How much is paper towels?
I don't know, $20. We're a pack of like 10.
I'm asking that when I'm the one that buys them.
I know.
The funny part.
No, the funny part is the timing just happens to be in your time, but I already have on my list.
It happens to be my time. No, I buy it when we need it.
I have on my list
we need
tomorrow.
It right now.
Yeah, we need that and we need dishwasher, but I'm getting that tomorrow, so I already wrote that down.
No, I'm probably going to buy it.
No, I'll get it. It's on my list. I already wrote it down. But yeah, I don't know. You know how I feel. Obviously, there's shots men out there, of course, but there's a lot of mentally unstable women with these ideals. And like I said, for a lot of women, nothing's ever going to be enough. And they look to just, criticize black men and find something, especially like I said in the black community. It's sad. It's so sad. And it's so miserable. I'm like, good luck. You guys going to die and die lonely and just be miserable for the rest of your life. Like just constantly having something negative to say about Black men all day, every day. Like that's your whole timeline. Like that was on your brain today, just to talk about Black men and be mad. So, yep, that's my main issue. They can't be everything for you. I'm sorry.
Because you're nothing for them.
Yeah. And lots of people, they don't even be valuable women with these ideals. Like, what do you really bring to the table? Why are you so important that you think that a man has to be this for you? Like, besides all of our ability to bear children, like, of course, I'm a woman. Like, that's a crazy thing. We're the ones that bring the kids into the world. I get that. Like, that's crazy. But other than that,
you can't even do that without men either.
Yeah, you still can't do that. But, well, your contribution. But, no, I'm talking about the birthing process. That's all us.
But still, can't even get to that point.
I mean, but that's something that's obviously something to respect all women for, just for that simple fact. But beyond that, it's like, what else do you provide?
Yeah, but even that to me is so crazy. It's like,
yeah, because like it's not my fault. Like,
it's like what you want me to do? Like now for the rest of forever, like there's a enslavement to women because they can have children and men can't.
No, like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like I feel like as far as just respecting a woman, I feel like all men could agree to respect women just for that simple fact. Like we got to respect the people that could bring people in the world. I get, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
no.
Well, the people who've actually had kids already.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think we respect.
Well, when it comes to your partner and your well, yeah, respect people. At the bottom line is respect people who respect you. But
that's it. Yeah. Got anything else?
I'm just done with the gender wars. I'm leaving Twitter. Well, I'm not leaving Twitter, but I'm just not gonna be. I just can't be on there every day seeing people mad. So, yeah, that's my conclusion. Yeah. Stop expecting men to be everything for you. They can't do it all. You either want a partner or you want a traditional man. I think that's really the bottom line, right?
No, they just want a paycheck.
No, but I'm saying like you got to pick one path. It's like, do you want your man to be traditional or do you want that partnership?
I don't think they want either.
And if you want the man to be traditional, you have to be traditional, and that's it. Like if you want a partner, then you got to be a partner. And of course, everybody has their own. You have your own things among your couples, right? If that's your agreement, that's your agreement. Like at the end of the day, who cares? That's like we always say, oh, we don't really care. Like at the end of the day, do what works for you, but don't spew that stuff on Twitter and stop making it seem like okay for the world for us to hate on Black men. Like it's getting old. Cause to the whole world, we look crazy. We're the only people that do this.
Yeah. Got anything else?
Look at this thing. Why does it say shots? No.
Okay. All right. Well, gunfire lands inside a 4 train in the Bronx.
Are you serious?
I'll take the 4 train.
You don't take the 4 train to the Bronx.
I didn't say I'd take the 4 train to the Bronx. I just said I'd take the 4 train.
I know, but why'd you bring it up?
Because they just said that there's the 4 train.
I know, but it didn't happen in Manhattan.
I didn't say it did.
Honestly, for something to happen on your way home, knock on wood, it would have to just be somebody that cuts through. Cause I feel like that's where all the security be at, and most of the police presence in Midtown. All these crazy. I mean, except that Asian lady who got pushed into the train track. That was that lady at Times Square. So obviously, it's not safe anywhere. But I will hope that they have a lot of protection around Midtown. All right.
No.
Do they? Do you see a lot?
No.
Oh wait, before we cut off, too, how do you even? When did you find out about the thing anyway?
When it happened.
No, but I mean, how did you find out? Because all my news was delayed after you told me.
On the terminal.
Oh wow! So you get like a real time, immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you found out like early. Literally, you found out before the internet really found out. Like when you told me, I found out like maybe. I mean, I saw people tweeting about it like 10 minutes later.
Yeah. No. But yeah, got anything else? That it?
What was that? Oh, that was thunder. No.
All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far, we appreciate you as always. Thank you again for getting us to 100 subs. We also just reached another milestone for downloads, but I forget what it was. So make sure you guys check us out on Apple, Spotify, wherever else we are. You manage that. I don't know where we're at, but
yeah, it's Apple and Spotify.
Yeah. So thank you guys for supporting us. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things, and we will see you next week.